Well, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. It is lovely to have you here today. Thank you so much for watching. I've got something on the table that's in pre-order right now, and of course I will post the link in the description. This is the Grambeau, that's G-R-A-M-B-E-A-U Russ, R-U-S-S. And this, I am in love with this knife. Now, this came to me by way of Lefty EDC. He was nice enough to send this on to some of us to check out, and I really appreciate that. It's made by Bestech. It is a sort of liner lock. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. It's interesting in its design, right? Look at this blade, though. I mean, it's just fantastic. Straightforward, sort of elegant, right? It's got Grambo right there on the titanium. Full tie construction, very nicely done. It's just a nice piece. M390 blade. It's running on bearings. It's got a really interesting pivot, right? All the way through, right? It's just a cool knife. The action is, well, ridiculously good. It is very good. Now, this is made by Bestech, and they do a really good job. I'm not a huge fan of the actual Bestech branded knives. I mean, they're great knives, but the aesthetics don't appeal to me. But their OEM work is out of this world. I mean, you get stuff like the EMP EDC Thick Boy here, right? I mean, when they decide to build a knife for somebody, they do a really good job, and this is no exception. So let's take a look at what you get. Now, mind you, these come in at about $281. Which for full tie M390 in this kind of construction is not outrageous. It's an expensive knife, but you know, if it was Riot, it'd probably be $400. So, you know, hey, it's not budget, but it's a little easier on the wallet than it could be. All right, let's take a look at what you get, shall we? You get 3 1/4 inches of cutting on 3 1/2 inches. 3 1/4 on 3 1/2 inches of M390. The grip area from, let's see, when I grab it, I'm about here at the bottom of this line. So that's where we're going to measure it from. It's got a nice big handle. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4 inches of grippable handle. I mean, it's a really good sized knife, right? You get some jimping right here where you want it. Nothing too extreme or extravagant. The knife overall, from tip to tail, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 1/4 inches overall, which is really nice. Because it's thumb stud deployed, and I do like that they didn't, you know, I mean, he could have easily extended this up and done a front flipper as well, but it's just thumb studs. It's really clean. We'll get to these scales in just a minute. Closed length, we'll flip it over. We're looking at 4 3/4, which is really nice. And of course, in the pocket, because there's no flipper tab, you're looking a little over 1 1/4 inches, but it's a really lean carry. Now, the titanium scales are milled along here to give it a little bit of body and a little texture, and they're rounded just a little bit, so they're not flat slab, which is really nice as well. This piece here, let's see if I can show that to you. See, that is actually it's not connected, right? So the liner, which has a steel lock bar insert, by the way, the actual frame lock is part of this scale, the exterior scale, right? It's one piece, milled and then driven along this edge. And then there's this overlay plate put over the top of it to turn it into a liner lock, which is very cool. Sort of complicated, but still very cool. And the reason I got into this, because when I first saw this, I was like, wow, that's really nice. What is this screw for? Like, why would that be there on a, oh, because this is a separate piece. Which leads me to wonder, there's another screw underneath the pocket clip right here, which leads me to wonder if he's going to do different style of inserts. On his website right now, this is the only way that it comes, but it doesn't look like it'd be that difficult to put something else right here. But I guess that would be up to you and somebody that wants to make them. The rest of the construction is very straightforward. You've got this open body pivot, right, which rides right here, and then you've got a similar open body barrel spacer at the back, right, which is very cool. So it's only held together in 2 places. However, There is, of course, a blade stop pin here. And back here, there is a spot for a lanyard if you wanted to do such a thing. Now, you guys know I don't lanyard, but he sets you up, and it doesn't interfere with the rest of the knife. Now, you guys know I prefer deep carry. So the one thing women carry knives came home. So we'll just use this. So it's just not deep carry, and it could be. Anyway, so not a big deal. The design is, at the very least, unique and interesting. I really, really like it. And for $281, I don't think it is a wallet killer. And it's not cheap, but it's really well made and it's really well put together. And I like that quite a bit. Let's do some size comparisons, shall we, while we've got it out. Here it is against the PM2. And as you can see, it is very similar in size to the PM2. Here it is against the Para 3. And of course, it is considerably larger than that. Move over to our old friends, the Benchmades, as we do sometimes. Here it is against a full-size grip. And it is longer than the full-size grip, although you get basically the same amount of cutting edge. And here it is against the Bug Out. Right? So it's a full-size knife. It's got a really aggressive, I don't know why the blade just looks really aggressive to me, but there's something about that design that makes it look, I do not like the word tactical. It's sort of useless at this point, but this definitely has got that kind of aggressive posture that I like quite a bit. I think it's very cool. Let's go ahead and see how much of this M390 they give you. The thickest point back here, we're coming at 137 thousandths of an inch, which is 3.5 millimeters, not too bad. The body of the knife at its thickest point, notice how it's going to stick out of your pocket, is 13.33 millimeters, 13.32 millimeters, little bit over a half inch. Now, because it's about a half inch this way, and because it's nice and wide here, you get just a this is fantastic. It's such a solid and just locked in grip on this thing. Now the way the blade is designed, you got this beautiful fuller down here, swedge across the top here. Like I said, you've got a nice resting spot for your thumb. It is very pokey in case you needed to give something a little move along prod. It's got a flat along here, and so it does come down the angle is steep from this line down to the edge, but it does come down to a very nice and slicey edge. Now I have cut some stuff, oh, and by the way, it's got a great sharpening choil. Like right there at the end of the plunge, just thoughtfully done, well designed. It's really nice. The thumb studs are far enough back on the blade to be 99.3 or 4% out of the cutting path, which is really well thought out. It's very comfortable. This is just all around an excellent knife. I'm a little mad now that I think about it, Lefty, for letting me see this thing because I want one. I really do. These are, as I said, up for pre-order on his website. That's right. Thank you, Women Carry Knives. That's right. Website. And as I said, the link will be in the description. You can check this out if you are interested. Let's go ahead and weigh it. I'm curious at this point. We are at 4.8 ounces, which, you know, for, what did we decide? 3.5 inches of M390 on an 8.25 inch knife. Not too bad. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I have another Grambo knife to show you guys down the road. That's the Aceto. We'll take a look at that in a few days probably. But for now, this is the Grambeau Russ, made by Bestech. It is a fantastic bit of kit in titanium and M390. Thank you very much, Lefty, for the opportunity to see it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this look at it, and we'll see you next time.